Once COVID started and it escalated when Trump called it the Chinese virus and the Wuhan virus, but it still was going on before that. Basically, a lot of anti-Asian hate crimes were happening, like hate crimes against Asian people all over the country, and the percentage skyrocketed. I think right now, the last time I checked, was Asian hate crimes have increased by 1,900%. That's like almost 2,000% from last year. I was starting to get death threats from random numbers that I didn't know, and saying they were going to kill me, they were going to come to my house, they were going to kill my family, this, that, and the other. And that's scary. Mm-hmm. Obviously, I'm not scared of violence. I don't consider myself a violent person, but if violence comes to me, I'll defend myself. But that's in situations where I have the opportunity. There were a lot of... a video that really had me shook was a guy walks past an Asian guy. I think I told you about this, but it's the videos of a man walking past an Asian man, and I think Brooklyn or somewhere in Manhattan. And Asian guy walks past, they're social distancing, masks on, whatever. The Asian guy keeps walking, and the white man turns around and shoots him in the back of the head dead. That's not violence, that's just murder. There's no way for me to defend against that. It's not like I get into a fight somewhere and, we throw hands and then one of us is like, fuck it, I'm out, It's like I could be anywhere and, these people don't have, a marker on them that says, I'm a threat. Like, it could be anyone. You never know who could be in that situation, and that's what I fear most, is that, especially in somewhere in America, like, America's like, white people are everywhere. I can't be afraid of every white person I see, or every, non-minority that I see, or, because I couldn't live like that. But at the same time, I have to come to the realization, it could be anyone, essentially.
And if it's going to happen, there's nothing you can do about it, unfortunately.
Exactly. I probably wouldn't even know. It'd probably be like that, where I walk away or I pass them and I'm dead. Mm-hmm. I don't get to say goodbye. I don't get to contemplate anything. I don't even have a last thought, and my life is over. Without me having a say and for no reason. Just death because of ignorance. I remember calling the police when I was getting the death threats. And they were like, oh, we can't do anything right now. And I was like, why? And they were like, nothing's happened yet. Like, has anything happened yet? And I was like, no, but, like, is that what we're waiting for? Because, like I said, it's not like, yes, right, the threat, like, it's not always that people are, I heard one story about a guy getting slashed in the face. No one's helping either because of Corona and stuff, and probably just anti-Asian sentiments in general, but if I call the police and they say nothing's happened yet, it shows me that they're waiting for something to happen and that they don't really care. Because I feel like if I was if I lived on the South Shore and I said, oh, so-and-so, something's going to happen to me.
Someone's waiting outside my house.
Right. Or something, or even that, yeah. I'm sure someone would show up.
He has a hood on.
We've been in the South Shore, and people call, but they're smoking in a car, and they show up. Mm-hmm. And I'm saying, hey, I'm getting death threat. Oh, nothing's happened yet. You're not dead yet, so. And it just goes to show that Asians are still very much a minority. We suffer from a lot of the model minority complex, where shows like Crazy Rich Asians will portray us as like these very artistically talented or successful, straight off the boat. We're on the level of white people, essentially. I've been told that Asians are equal to white people. Mm. And one of the reasons is because Asians, as a whole in America, are, I believe, some of the highest paid people in America, Asians and Indians. However, Asians and Indians also have one of the highest wage gaps. Like, just like
Between themselves?
Yeah, between the richest Asians and the poorest in America.
Yeah.
So, you know, you wouldn't measure every white or black person by the most by if you measured everyone against Bill Gates, and if outsiders looking in were like, oh yeah, Bill Gates is white, that's how white people are. No, that'd be like so skewed, right? Like not every white person has billions of dollars. So, you know, when Asians get portrayed like that, it's very harmful because it discredits any suffering or any wrongs that, you know, have been done to us, and it also sets expectations. For example, when Asians struggle in school, it's not taken as seriously as when another race struggles in school. But we also face the bamboo ceiling, which in itself, that phrase is racist, obviously. But the bamboo ceiling is that Asians are less likely to hold high positions in America because, you know, the Asian men are seen as not as masculine. We're demasculinated, and Asian women are very fetishized in society. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we don't get the same, even though we have one of the highest rates of like higher education. We don't have the hiring numbers to prove that. Like, you know what I mean? That would match that.
Yeah.
And now one of the reasons that I've looked into is because people think brain drain will happen. Brain drain is essentially when people outside the U.S. come to the U.S. to learn and then they go back. And that's considered brain drain because, you know, ethnocentrists or nationalists or whatever you want to call them get upset because it's like, oh, you came here for our education and our standard and then you left with the information and you didn't help us. Well, it's because you don't hire us.
And you also got our money.
Yeah, we paid for leave us alone, you know?
Yeah.
And also, a lot of the countries that this happens to, it's more needed there, you know? Mm-hmm. I don't know where I want to go with this, but essentially what I want to say was, like, the Asians in America are not spreading the virus on purpose. We don't have vials of it.
Anything to
yeah,
do
we
with
have nothing to. We don't have vials of like COVID-19 in our house that we're like throwing at people.
Vials of COVID putting on the Starbucks.
Right, like we're not doing any of that shit.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, if you are like thinking that, oh, I don't like Asian Americans because they created COVID, then you're a fucking idiot. I don't necessarily identify as really Asian. I'm adopted, so I don't know much about the culture. But I do identify as a person of color, a minority. I think we should all stick together. And that hasn't always happened between Asians amongst other Asians, and the Asian and black community has had like their differences for whatever reason. I couldn't tell you why. I just know that, like, you know, I've seen it happen, like where Asian and black people don't think highly of each other.
Yeah.
But I think in today's age, when, you know, the whole BLM movement and hate crimes against all races are happening, but I think especially people of color need to stick together and you know, support each other. Just like we spread a lot of stuff for the Black Lives Matter movement and how outraged we are about that. We should be equally outraged about other things that go on. Mm-hmm. And I understand that people might not even know about the hate crimes against Asians, and that's, you know, again, that speaks to the minority thing where, like, certain shit, it just isn't in the news. Mm-hmm. It's not in vogue to, like, you know, the news likes to prop us up instead of showing what's really happening, which is unfortunate.
Yeah.
But I get scared. Not like actively afraid all the time, but like mm-hmm. It's something in the back of my mind that, like, the fact that there are people that hate me strictly for the color of my skin, mm-hmm. I can't control that.
Yeah.
You know? I had that one interaction at Seaview.
Oh yeah.
That was really scary. And he didn't even seem crazy. That's the scariest part.
Yeah?
Yeah, he didn't seem, I mean...
He was being weird.
He was being weird, but...
If you would have just saw him...
Right, like, it's not like, you know, he was like... I didn't think he was on drugs. I think he had a true intent. Like, he was sane, just racist.
Mm-hmm. That's what's crazy about racist people is there's no giveaway that someone's racist.
Right. Not everyone has a swastika mm-hmm. tattoo, or not everyone's a skinhead, or not everyone's running around with a white hood. Mm-hmm. But, you know, in that moment I was fearful for my life.
Yeah.
Because
You don't know what he has on him.
his hands were in his pocket. I was.
His hands are in his pocket. That's
Yeah.
shit.
And they followed me into the like partial and like. The thought that I could get killed over something that I can't even control.
Mm-hmm.
Like there would be no way to reason with him.
Yeah.
Because his hatred isn't even based on facts.
Mm-hmm.
It's just based on hatred for the sake of it. Or I don't know what goes through someone who's racist, like their mind. And I mean like that level, like I don't mean prejudice.
Do you think it's like with you and the gorilla where they feel like they're being taken over?
That is part of it,
Yeah.
with Asians specifically.
Yeah.
The job, and Spanish people, oh, they're taking our job. No, we're not. Like, shut up. Like, that's... Like, and it's always the people that, like... It's not like Bill Gates is like, oh, they're going to take my job. No. Like, smart people aren't... You know what I mean?
Smart people don't just lose their job because they're not Asian.
Yeah. And if you did lose your job to an Asian, then...
Probably suck at it.
Well, no, but, like... It's fine to lose your job to someone if they're more qualified. Yeah, shit happens. Sorry, buddy. Mm-hmm. Like, you know, you should have worked harder.
Yeah.
I hate to be... You know what I mean, though. Like, when people lose... When a white guy loses...
You don't just lose your job.
When a white guy loses their job to a white guy, oh, I'll tip my hat. He must have been better fit for the position. Mm-hmm. But when an Asian steals a white guy's job, oh, you know, they're getting all these opportunities because America feels bad.
Yeah. No, you just have to be better.
Yeah. Sorry I'm better at your job than you are. Sorry that... Maybe I worked harder, or I just have a natural, whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's the same thing when, like, white people get upset that, like, Harvard want minorities. Yes, they want minorities, but it's not like they're just taking anyone. Like, you still have to get in.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, if you're a minority, you might have a better chance. But if you look at it, if you look at the history of a lot of those schools, yeah, it's the least they could fucking do. You know? Mm-hmm. The Harvard, the guy who, like, created Harvard, like, was incredibly racist. But you can look back at some of his quotes are wild. And so, yeah, like, give him the opportunity. There's nothing wrong with that. You know? As long as you're not taking the position away from another one, as long as they're truly qualified, yeah, I have no problem with that. Now, do we want to be pandered to? No. And there's a fine line, I understand that. That, like... There's a fine line between giving the opportunity because I understand that it's harder for you and you still deserve it, and pandering. You know what I mean?
Yes.